Hey guys, it's Danny, and today I'm going to be giving you some brand new leaks and rumors about the upcoming 2022 iPad Pro. These are some pretty cool and exciting rumors, and I can't wait to share them with you guys. So let's get on to the new leaks and rumors of the upcoming 2022 iPad Pro. So starting off, the iPad Pro will switch to glass and to switch to a glass back instead of an aluminum one. As this allows for two pretty cool features, which is wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. This can be cool as well as useful for some people, since if they're like on a road trip and their AirPods are dying or their Apple Watch is dying, you can just charge them on your iPad and you're good to go. Actually, be pretty cool if that could happen. We'll have to wait and see what Apple does with these AirPods, but that'd be actually pretty cool if that does happen. That will probably be like a form of magnetic form, so you can just snap your AirPods on the back of it, and this could also enable wireless charging on the iPad Pro, which is actually pretty cool. So you can have like a stand for iPad Pro, and you can just put it there and wirelessly charge. We don't really know at what speeds these will charge at, but this will be actually pretty cool if that could happen. So that'd be pretty cool if that could happen. As for the size, we're expecting two new models, a 12.9-inch one and an 11-inch one, same as the last 3 years or so. As for the specs, we'll probably have the same RAM and storage capacity on the last few years. So 128 to 2 terabytes of storage and 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM. So nothing that new there on the new iPad Pros. It would be really cool if Apple could go for 16 gigabytes of RAM across all models. Probably won't do it just because they're Apple and they don't do that much. But that would be actually pretty cool if that could happen. Not saying it will happen, but pretty dope if that could. As for the screen, Apple had to go with mini LED on the 12.9-inch iPad Pro since Apple doesn't buy OLED displays from Samsung anymore, because the problem that they didn't like the brightness display on the OLED displays, and they wanted some new displays, and that didn't really work out. So they're just went for mini LED, which was decently received by users. But in their MacBooks, they greatly improved it, and instead of blooming, which was their main issue, they refined it and made it less blooming. You can still notice it if you really peek across it, but it wouldn't be that noticeable. So that was really good. And it just made it sharper and just a bit better overall, which is very good. And so I think they could do that probably in this year, but just make it better mini LED. And I think Apple mini LED displays will get better across the board as they go ahead in time. There's still a possibility that Apple could go for the OLED display, but I don't think it's that possible. Maybe they'll just stick with mini LED, or they could go for OLED display on the 11-inch iPad Pro. We'll have to wait and see what that happens, but I think Apple will improvise even more on their future screens. So I think they could probably go for OLED on their 11-inch iPad Pro, which would be great, but the display brightness wouldn't be that high. It's still actually 600 nits, so it's still plenty of bright. They can maybe improve it to 800 nits or stuff like that. We'll just have to wait and see. But they'll still probably have 120 Hz, even that'll be still pretty good. 120 Hz is great. That'll be actually pretty cool. But we'll have to wait and see what Apple does there. As for the chip, we don't have a clear idea what Apple is doing, but we could probably see the next gen of the M1 chip, the M2 chip, make its debut in this iPad Pro or even the MacBook Air. That would be great. As Apple's M1 chip was way too overkill for an iPad, and developers weren't really that. Some developers did update their apps for the M1, but most developers didn't really do it, and it wasn't really that good. It still was plenty powerful for the apps that were supporting it, but it just wasn't the best app. Developers didn't support it, and it was pretty overkill for an iPad. So Apple will, hopefully with the M2 chip, they can force developers to update their apps or stuff like that. That'll be better, so they can force them to do that, because that's a little bit better, or else just like kick them off the App Store. I don't know. But that'll be way better if they could force developers to update their apps for the M1 chip. Most apps have, but some apps don't really want to, or they just, I don't think there's Rosetta on the iPad, but hopefully Apple can emulate something like Rosetta on the iPad, so that can emulate the app that's like running on M1 chip. That'll be actually pretty cool. That could happen. We'll just wait and see. But who knows, maybe Apple could even add Final Cut Pro to the iPad, but with some limitations like not adding 8K or just editing 4K RAW. And just, that'll actually be pretty cool if that could happen with Final Cut Pro, because it's a mobile device and it's a little bit cooler. That'd be cool if that could happen. Or your image yourself could add something with the M1 or the M2. That'd be pretty cool. But who knows? Apple could probably add that in the future. As for the release dates, we don't really know when that will come out. I think it'll likely come in the October event of next year, so about 11 months from now. Or it can even come out in March, or the April event, or the spring event. We don't really know when. But most likely it'll come out with iPadOS 15 or iPadOS 16 when that even comes out. We don't really know the price either, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But that'll be actually pretty cool. And the iPad Pro still has 2 cameras, a LiDAR scanner, and an ultra wide camera. Apple could be going for a telephoto lens, a 2.5x telephoto lens, which would be pretty cool. If you're like, I sometimes take photos on my iPad, not that much, but if you're using it, like you want to capture something really cool through the dark, so still have plenty of quality to work with, so it won't look that shabby or even bad as some tablets do. But overall, that'd be pretty cool if that could happen, and hopefully they can add. They still have center stage, or that'd be pretty cool. Hopefully they can add better improvements to the camera, make better, and just stuff like that, and hopefully they can add the bezels a little bit thinner. They're still pretty thin. Maybe have like a pretty cool redesign, or add something cool like the 2D on the power button or Face ID, but make it a little bit faster, or even improve Face ID a little bit more. That'd be actually pretty cool. But we'll just have to wait and see. That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video that I make.